Dogs are helping find survivors of earthquake in Turkey. Trained rescue dogs are helping find survivors buried underneath layers of concrete and otherwise undetectable. A member of EI Silverado urban search and rescue team carries their canine partner onto a plane as they head out to help in the aftermath of the earthquakes at St. Oscar Arfino Romeo International Airport on February 8. Hours after two huge earthquakes and hundreds of aftershocks struck southern eastern Turkey and northwestern Syria on February 6, some much needed rescuers began to arrive in Turkey with canine teams around the world that had come to lend a hand to the Turkish volunteer rescue team. Canine, a homophone of canine, is a dog specially trained to assist security forces and emergency teams in rescues, drug enforcement, or other operations. These dogs came from, among other countries like EI, EI Silverado, Germany, Mexico, Qatar, South Korea, Switzerland, Ukraine, and the United States. The much welcome rescuers who can find victims by scent alone are needed to help the Turkish canine team in desperate operations where building as high as 14 stories have collapsed, making it difficult to find survivors by sight or sound. Turkey and Syria rescuers persist as death toll passes 28,000. Aid needed needs are immense. As Turkey Syria death toll crosses 29,000. Germany offers temporary visas for Turkish Syrian Quake victims. Turkey orders 113 arrests linked to collapse building probe. Red Dog, a canine volunteer team from Switzerland, is on the ground in the Turkish city of Iskenderun, working with the local GEA team on an all volunteer search and rescue group. Since arriving on February 6th near midnight, the team of 10 people and 6 trained dogs, together with GEA, have so far found 39 people alive under the rubble. The dogs are trained to sniff out a human scent, stand at the spot, and bark loudly to alert their handlers to the spot where they have found it. A second dog is then released to see if it can confirm the findings. If the two dogs confirm, this allows human rescuers to concentrate their digging efforts on that particular spot until they find the person. I think it's one of the most emotional moment of my life. The moment when one of our dog signals to us that he found some people in the rubble. Red Dog Vice Chief for Rubble Search Matthias Gerber told Al Jazeera, the dogs work all day in teams of rub- three of a trouble site, taking turns to work 20-minute shifts followed by 40 minutes break. In one case, after their dogs signaled the location of where people were buried, human rescuers began digging at the spot and soon heard knocking coming from behind the rubble from the victims trapped inside, confirming what the dogs had already pinpointed. 8 hours later of hard work, they saved 4 people alive from this position. Gian Foster, Red Dog team leader who works with 3 dogs, told the news agency. Every time a red dog finds a person, he or she is praised and rewarded with a toy or food. He really likes to find people because he gets rewarded every time. Foster said, the main thing is that the dog has fun and likes to search for people. If the survivor is not buried too deep, the dogs can pick up on the scent quite quickly. But some buildings in Iskenderun have 6 floors that have collapsed with 2-3 meters or 4 6 to 6 feet of concrete pancaked in between each level, making it a challenge to find people buried more deeply. If it takes time for the scent to come up, we have to go to the spot of debris and remove some floors of rubble and try again. It's quite a hard process if person is buried that deep, Gerber said. Describing a recent rescue, Foster said, we arrived at the rubble field and we started searching on top of the roof of the building, and we did not get any scent there. And the Jian thought about how we went in coming from the west. So we searched the east side of the rubble, and there the dogs detected the scent from the person. The dogs working with the red dog on the ground in Turkey, among them Labradors, German Shepherd, Belgian Shepherd, Border Collie, and Golden Retriever, have up to 7 years experience working in rescue missions and have helped find survivors of the disasters in Japan, Nepal, and Albania. But Gerber said in the last 30 years of his rescue dog work, the current mission in Turkey is the most challenging and tragic that he has experienced, referring to the scale of destruction for our dogs. It's very hard if there is so much rubble on top of the victim to find them. It is a big obstacle for us. It's good if we can come back to the same rubble site after the remove some floors of the rubble and search again, because then we will have a chance to find people alive even if they have buried very deep. Murat Kurum, the Turkish Minister of Environment, Urbanization and Climate Change, has said that more than 41,700 buildings in 10 affected provinces in the country southeast had either collapsed or generally needed to be torn down or were severely damaged, according to state news agencies. Is At least 1791 buildings in 10 provinces that were affected have been identified as being severely damaged or requiring immediate demolition. It's horrible what happened here. All these collapsed buildings are these people who have lost their relatives, their homes. It's horrible. L- we are happy to help here with our dogs to get people out alive. It's really important. It really moves me that we can help here. So far, of the 2000 calls that GEA has received, Red Dog working with the GEA has answered about 200 of them, he said. California-based NGO National Disaster Search Dog Foundation has trained 7 of 12 rescue dogs deployed from the US, currently searching for survivors in Turkey. Denise Sanders, director of communication and search team operation, told Al Jazeera that the dogs are so much better at detecting scents than any technology that we have. They run over the top of rubble and do what's called air sensing. They are picking up those scents, particularly in the air, and then following their nose quite literally to the strongest scent source, and that will be the point of potential victim, Sanders said. Knowing from past experience working in the aftermath of earthquakes such as Haiti, she said dogs have shown that they are able to sniff very distinct scents that are very dispersed in the air, as deep as 20 to 30 feet below the surface, or 6 to 9 meters. In Haiti, in particular, we had collapsed buildings that had been 7 stories tall that pancake collapsed. We know that the dogs were able to locate the survivors and alert Sanders. For a dog to be trained and skilled at finding survivors, they naturally need to have drive, determination, and boundless energy. E. This is not your pet that you toss the toy for in the backyard a couple of times and they kind of get trained, get tired, and lay down. These dogs will go until they drop, until you tell them it's time to stop. That kind of resilience and determination is exactly what we needed. They are on the ground for 1 2 weeks and they need to cover a massive area and check so many different sites and run over so many different mountains of rubble. They don't necessarily make great pets due to their high energy. They are not able to settle quite as well as the average dog. So we really try to channel that into a job that they love. The canine rescuers are dedicated to their work and they face as many dangers as their human partners do. Proteo, a German shepherd working with Mexican rescue team in Qatar, Maras, died yesterday when the remains of a building he was searching in fell on him. He has been honored as a hero by Mexican Defense Minister, and the certificate said, "Thank you, Portio, for your heroic work. You accomplished the mission." The members of the Mexican Army and Air Force, we deeply regret The loss of our great companion, the dog Proteo. You fulfilled your mission as a member of the Mexican delegation in the search and rescue of our brothers in Turkey. Thank you for your heroic work. This was the mention of the Mexican army for a dog which died in the Turkey due to a building collapse on him. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your family and friends. Dogs are helping find survivors.